Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Up, Cuz. I am your host, Jason Palmer, checking in with you live from Chicago, but not in the studio tonight, ladies and gentlemen. No, can't do it. Can't do the studio tonight. Tonight, it is from my living room because why? It is the Thanksgiving holiday weekend that just ended. And I'm tired, just like most of y'all. We tired. It was Black Friday. Today is now Cyber Monday. So people are buying stuff. Amazon is going bananas, picking up customers all over the place. So I'm kicking back and relaxing to do this show. So tonight's show is going to be a 1 hour special as we lead you right on up to the Chicago Bears, who will be featured tonight on Monday Night Football as they take on the Minnesota Vikings up there in Minnesota. So, with that in mind, go ahead and get social with the show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Sports Zone Shy and on Facebook and IG at Sports Zone Chicago. So, my cousin Lance will be here. He's running just a little bit tardy today. He's got some stuff he's got to take care of. So you will have me for the first few minutes of the show, but looking forward to tonight's Bears game. Tonight's game is going to be a winnable game for the Bears. They're playing against the Vikings, but the Vikings are without their star, Justin Jefferson. He has been downgraded to out for tonight's game, so that will help the Bears out. They're also going against a backup quarterback, I believe, so this is a chance for the Bears. Oh, my God. It's their chance. They have not beaten a team in their division since Thanksgiving of 2021. So it has been 2 years since the Bears have beaten someone in the NFC North. So we will see what happens tonight. Can they get rid of this losing streak and beat the Vikings? Also, on this special edition of What's Up, Cuz, we will have a guest coming on later on tonight at 6:30 p.m. We will be talking about something very interesting that is going on over in Africa. Prince Kofi Asante has started a program a few years ago and is really picking up. The sport he's brought to Africa is water polo. And his goal is to try to get enough players and get them in good enough shape and playing the sport that by the year 2028, when the Olympics are held in Los Angeles, that Ghana will have a team in the Olympics representing the West African nation. If he is successful, it will be the first West African water polo team in the history of the Olympics. So he is going to come on at 6:30 to talk about his efforts in doing that, which I just think is going to be an incredible conversation with Prince Kofi Sante when he comes on at 6:30, because water polo is an incredible sport in and of itself. It takes a whole lot to be in shape to play that sport. And I'm just happy he's doing what he's doing and that he's chosen to come on What's Up, Cuz, to help us further his effort. So looking forward to it. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to What's Up, Cuz. Make sure you tune us in every Monday night. Hope you all had a great holiday. What's up to you, Brandon? I see you're out there. What's up to Patty and Armando? I also see you all are out there. So I just got back from Ghana, by the way. I was gone over there for a week, and I also went to Amsterdam. So I've been traveling, and I came back with a cold. So lucky me. So if I sound a little different, there you go. So that's what's going on with me, Brandon. What is going on with you? I'm doing fine. I'm going to make it through the show. But right now I'm feeling a little under the weather too. Jet lag is a beast. Good Lord. If you never suffered jet lag, it's an interesting experience when you get back here in the States when you're traveling. So Ghana, where I was, is 6 hours ahead of Chicago. So over there is currently after midnight. So my body is telling me you should be asleep right now, Jason. I don't know why the hell you trying to do a show, but I am doing this show because it's time to do the show. So what can I tell you? The Bears. So let's talk about the Bears a little bit. So getting ready to play the Vikings. Bears currently sitting in a record of 3-8, but they have the overall number one pick again in the draft due to the trade that they had with Carolina. That wasn't even a trade. That was a fleecing. I don't know what Carolina was thinking. But they got DJ Moore, and now they're in position right now to have the number one overall pick. Now, the other side of that story is that Charlotte, the Panthers, the Charlotte Panthers fired their coach today. So Frank Reich, who had a record of, I think they were 1-9 or 1-10 or something, 1-10, I think, on the season. He didn't last. He got fired. And I know he like, how y'all firing me? You took away my best offensive weapon and gave him to the Bears. And I don't have the number one draft pick this year. So Frank Reich is probably happy that they fired him because, like they say, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. And that's how bad the Carolina Panthers are. So the Bears are sitting in a pretty good position right now. But they still got to play this year. And, I think a lot of people will say that it was definitely it's been a disappointing season to this point. But they'll have a chance to change that in about an hour at 7:15 when they kick off against the Minnesota Vikings. However, just having the overall number one draft pick doesn't mean you're going to get a player who's an immediate impact on your team. More than likely you will, but we've seen it happen in the past where people have been drafted top 5 don't pan out. Not saying that's going to happen with the Bears, but should be interesting if they end up holding on to this number one pick. Will they trade them when it comes to draft day? Will they draft a quarterback? That seems to be the hot topic here in Chicago on the Bears. Is Justin Fields your guy or not? Is he? That's the question. And I think they're trying to get it answered. We shall see. Tonight's game will be another test for Justin Fields. But the thing I've always said about this is that this is now Justin's 3rd year in the league. This is his 2nd year with his offensive coordinator. You should have seen improvement. And for me, I guess my biggest beef with Bears fans is that I've seen you all kind of flip-flop. I've seen you all flip-flop on this, being objective now. So at the beginning of the season, there were all these expectations on Justin. He'll be better. His 2nd year under this coaching staff and the playbook, he'll have, a couple seasons under his belt. This should be his breakout year. Okay, fine. That hadn't really happened yet. So it begs for the question, is he your guy? Is he your guy? Now, I know he is your guy, but when I look at what CJ Stroud is doing at Houston in his 1st year, when I'm looking at what Brock Purdy is doing in San Francisco and now his 2nd year, I'm still wondering why you all are so Justin Fields is my guy. I really am. Bears fans, because those 2 guys that I just named, they've done it in less time than Justin Fields. Way less time. I just think Justin's development, he's shown you what he can do. If you think that's going to get you to the Super Bowl, okay, knock yourself out. I don't see it. I don't think the Bears have a franchise quarterback. I think they have an excellent athlete in quarterback. I think they got the best athlete in the league playing quarterback. But his decision making at times is scary. It's scary. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to ever back off of that one. Um, but, Bears fans, if you want them, you can have them. So Brandon said, I had turkey, I had mashed potatoes, I had green beans, and we baked cookies. It's a hell of a meal right there. That's a good 2,000 calories easily. That's an easy 2,000 calories, but it was good. That's what you're supposed to do on Turkey Day. Watch football and eat. Armando also has a comment. He says, yes, I believe it has a lot to do with coaching because there are times the entire team has looked unprepared. Interesting. So since you brought it up, let's go there with the coaching staff. Last year, you same Bears fans who are now saying Eberflus sucks, Luke Getsy sucks. If I'm not mistaken, last year, you all were like, oh, this dude is much better than the guy we had. Oh, this is a definite upgrade that the Bears have. Oh, yes, blah, 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 blah. This is going to be great. He's going to develop these players. And now, less than a year later, y'all ready to run the man out of time. This is why I'm not a Bears fan no more. I just cannot deal with the suffering that fan base has gone through. Because it's got y'all just from year to year, you're flipping up and down. Oh, we're good. Oh, we're bad. Oh, I don't know what we're going to be. It's just very interesting to listen to Bears fans now that I'm not a Bears fan anymore. But I don't know. Hard to explain it. What's up, Patty? Welcome back. Great job, Dolphins. Excuse me. Told y'all I came back with a cold. But yes, we won the Black Friday game, the Miami Dolphins. But we're playing the Jets, Patty. The Jets are terrible. They are really terrible, terrible. So, but yes, we'll take the win. We're sitting there at 8-3. I do have some concerns that the Dolphins haven't really beat winning teams this year, but you can only play the teams that's on your schedule. Well, hey, look who decided to show up running a few minutes late. It's my co-host, none other than my cousin, Lancy Irvin.
Jay, I apologize for being late, but some of us try to stay busy. Some of us in school trying to coach, trying to do athletic directors work. Some of us listening to you cough, and some of us listening to you make excuses for how bad the Jets are. But like I told you when you coach, we're not going to apologize for getting no wins. Those guys are pros, right? They got Sauce Gardner, those guys. They got Dalvin Cook. Those guys are pros. And I mean, you beat other pros. We're not apologizing for whooping pros. Now, if you want to talk about the quarterback situation, it's probably a little bit iffy. Well, I can't use the word iffy, but when you lose Aaron Rodgers, I thought Jay. Well, thank you, Patty. Appreciate it. I thought Zach Wilson would probably be a little bit better from the tutelage Aaron Rodgers had gave him over the past couple of months that Aaron Rodgers was there. The defense was supposed to be top flight with my man Big Quentin Williams in there. They're supposed to be tight at the wide receivers core. But with that being said, though, Jay, you still need somebody to throw the ball to him consistently. You still need somebody to read the defense. I think Robert Saleh is a good coach, but when you play without a quarterback, Jay, you know better than me. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Do they stink? Their record indicates that they stink.
Yeah.
But they won about 4 or 5 games. They done been Zach Wilson now. So I don't know, Jay. You put in a third string quarterback. You regulated him to he's on the practice squad now, Jay. So let me ask you this: how do you think he's feeling from a confidence standpoint?
Who? Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson. Do you think he's not good enough for the NFL? Or?
Yeah, of
What's the
course he
stuff?
does. His own teammates was vouching for him to not play ever again last year. He's only playing because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. He had Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, they'd have traded him before the trade deadline. So I'm pretty sure it's messed with the young man's confidence. And it's in New York City. Come on, man. You know how New York City fans are.
But 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 Jason, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he only start in college for 1 year? Is that right?
Yeah, he did the match.
So is it the people's fault that drafted him?
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, it ain't like he went to nothing against schools, but we gotta talk about this a little bit, Jay. As you see how I just jumped right in. I jumped right in. Jay, it's not like you played for Alabama, and even so you might struggle. You didn't play for I even give your school the U. It's not like you played there. It's not
Yeah.
like you played for my team. It ain't like you played for Michigan, and we ain't talk about Michigan. Like we talk about my Wolverines, but I can't really talk about it because you know my man Tony Alford is the coach at the Ohio State University. So let
Yeah.
me calm down
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Our former
But
guest, yes.
but Jay, was he? Did he play enough games to be in consideration as a top 5, 6 first round pick?
Lance, that gets into them GM questions. And we talk about that all the time, man. A lot of us be on them GMs making bad selections.
Right there, I can't. And that's sample size when you play a position like quarterback. What he played like 12 games his senior year? Like, Jay, it's not like baseball where you play what in college? What you play about 60 games
Right?
in a
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
I have probably seen you. Like basketball, you give me 35, 30, 31. If you okay, I've seen you. You see sample size a little bit bigger. But I don't know, Jay, unless you're special 12 games at quarterback. Uh,
Well,
I
let's
don't
talk.
know.
Let's just use that
Let
as
me
same
make sure.
example for Justin Fields.
Go ahead.
How many games he started his year at Ohio State?
Might be right about 12, maybe. Let's,
Okay. And the
let's
Bears
Google it.
decided to pick him. Bears decided to pick him. So again, this is why I'm asking the question of Bears fans: how are you all this confident that you have a franchise quarterback? When I just named two people, C.J. Stroud, that was one person I named, Brandon, and Brock Purdy. These dudes got less experience than you do, and they out there. Hell, Brock Purdy got his team acting like they trying to go to the Super Bowl this year. C.J. Stroud is playing for a brand new coach. Last year, the Texans were one of the worst teams in the league. They got more wins than the damn Bears this year with a rookie quarterback, Lance. So, a lot of this ain't on coaching. A lot of this is who you draft and them general managers.
And
And I've
who,
said it before. I'm not sold on Ryan Poles just yet.
Jay, I'll get back to Ryan Poles in a hot second. Is who you draft as a quarterback, right? Who's developing the quarterbacks also has to
Mm,
be some sort of development going along too. And like you said, what's this? Three offensive coordinators for Fields and stuff like that.
mm-hmm,
It's hard to get continuity, right? So
mm-hmm,
not making an excuse for him, but that's just the cold hard facts about it, right? And you don't
mm-hmm.
have confidence in Ryan Poles is because those two bad trades he made, or what? Make it make sense to me, because the man just got in the seat. What is this? The second year?
Yeah.
Man, there's no back comment to this story. You gonna give him 2 years and he's done?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I'm not sold on him.
So what does he?
I'm giving him some time because he had to do a complete overhaul. He did the tear down last year. Sometimes when you rehabbing a project, you gotta go all the way down to the studs.
Say, but that's if the rehab. I mean, that's if the frame is bad. Was the frame that bad? You couldn't have kept a
Yeah.
couple on the defense.
No. You wouldn't have been able to get the draft picks that he got.
I mean, Jay, but you messed up a couple of the draft picks. So my
Well,
thing is this: Nobody's giving you a lot of time these days for stuff to come together. 2, 3 years, you out. See, you used to sit up there and get 4 or 5, maybe, right? Two,
Yeah.
3 years, they waving you bye bye. Anytime my cousin Sheree school, right? They buy somebody out for 77 million and have to give him 26 million in 26 days. Then come back in another 35 plus days and give him another 15 to 20 million. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean,
And
that tells you how much money they have.
Texas A&M coach Jimbo Fisher getting bought out by Texas A&M. Yes, I agree. I wish somebody would pay me 26. I don't even want
AJ,
to pay me $26 million to fire me.
AJ,
Everybody,
Eddie Ogeron. That's why I like Eddie at the University of
mm-hmm.
Oregon. Eddie said they came in there, they offered me 19 million. They told me they was gonna have a check for me tomorrow. I said I love Louisiana, love the state. It's been good to me. He said, hell, when I saw that 19 million, it got very good to me. Well, Eddie, it'll get very good to me too, Jason. Somebody give me 19 million too. I smile my way out there too. Hey y'all, God bless y'all. Thank y'all. And
I know that's
Jimbo
right.
can get another job.
Yes, he can and will get another job.
He get another job. And Jay, that million, that's generous. See, my man from Indiana just walked away with his 20 million.
Yeah.
Scott Frost walked away with his 15 million. And they should have waited for 2 days to split the difference. They didn't even wait. See, they take care of everybody, but
Vernon said
yeah.
that's a retirement plan for me.
Hey Vernon, we call that the golden parachute. That's the golden parachute. There's been a lot of golden parachutes given out these last couple of days. That's why I tell people, I got one more coach around them. You somebody please call me. That money they paying, man, get 15 million to go home, y'all. They pay you 15 million to go home. How about that?
And that is that is the college and professional sports landscape that we are currently seeing.
But
So I don't know what else to say. This is what these professional teams are doing. This is what these universities are doing. And, and I've told everybody, my girl graduated from Texas A&M, and she wasn't happy. Neither were any of her friends who went to Texas A&M when they heard Jimbo Fisher had been bought out and the amount of money that they were going to pay him, because they all struggled when they went to school to pay that tuition. They all struggled, and shoot, they like, I know a whole bunch of black kids that y'all gonna put through school
hey, Jay, there's a couple of
on a
things.
$76 million pile. Y'all can put about 1,000 black kids to school.
Jay, so if you have 76 million, right? 77, even though it goes in the incremental installments after the 66 days, right? He gets 7 million a year, I think, for 7 years, right?
Yeah,
But if you have that much money, Jay, everybody at the school should be getting an NIL deal.
yeah.
Everyone at the school should at least be getting 5,000 a year, no matter what sport you play. Everybody should be getting something. If you have that type of money where you could buy a coach off, buy a coach out, that's crazy. And then also, we need to stop thinking like Texas A&M is such a great job for football. Let's be totally honest now. When have they really won something except with Johnny Manziel that one year that, like I tell people, hey, the Deuce of Diamonds can win a car in hand every now and then too.
Yeah,
When have they really won, Jay? When have they really won?
they haven't, but they
They
have such
haven't.
a tradition. And you used to work down there, so I mean, you know about it. You live firsthand. You've got firsthand knowledge of it. The 12th man is what they're most known for. Used to be the bonfire before the big game with Texas on Thanksgiving weekend, but after the accident, they shut that down. But they have such a tradition of football at that school. Don't mean they win, but they're usually, pretty competitive. And under Jumbo, they weren't even close to competitive.
Jay, what's the record? Like 7-5 now? I think they're
I, don't, I,
seven and
don't, I
five.
don't I don't know if they got 7.
They lost to LSU yesterday. The Saturday, I think
I
they
want to
had.
say it's 6-6.
You think they're 6-6?
Yeah.
6-6. That's a great thing about the internet. We can look it up. But Jay, like, is it a top job or is it good because it's in Texas?
It's a top job because they paid some fool $76 million to leave. Hell, that's why it's a top job. It's a whole bunch of coaches lining up for that. Now they ended up hiring a
They're
coach.
7-5.
They're 7-5. Okay, they ended up hiring a coach, and they hired him from Duke, which ain't no football powerhouse that you. So I don't know what Texas A&M
But
is doing.
Jay, he was the defensive coordinator at A&M, right? So it has some ties. They went with the little Texas route. He's the defensive coordinator. He went to Duke. I think they won 3 games his first year. Then they went 9-4, and I think they 7-5 this year too, or something like that. So they probably saved a little bit of money. Not saying that he's not qualified for the job because Duke is a hard job. So, but with that being said, Jay, I mean, people were mentioning Mark Stoops. Now I'm hearing that Dabo Sweeney might be leaving Clemson, going somewhere. Because I'm like, where's Dabo going? Like, where you gonna go? He makes
He
a
just
lot of
won
money too.
just won a championship like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, Jay, it's tough, but I'm glad to have your name mentioned because when your name mentioned, you get some more money. So with that being said, just mention me and pay me some more. But Jay, I'm starting to feel like Texas A&M, the money in Texas making a good job because Kevin Sumlin didn't really win like that.
Nope.
Jimbo didn't really win like that. Who was the last coach that really won? R.C. Slocum, and you know how long that been.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's the college football landscape. And so, so we'll see what the Bears do with their coaching staff because I think they're on the hot seat. I think Justin Fields is on the hot seat. Ryan Poles is not on the hot seat right now. He'll probably get at least another year before people start calling for him to leave. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I think the Bears definitely have a good chance of winning this game tonight. But they don't usually do well on Monday Night Football. Bears usually don't do well in these primetime matchups. But if they're ever going to beat Minnesota, this is the time to do it because Justin Jefferson is not playing.
And that's a bad wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is cold. He is he is cold. But Jay, you get rid of the coach after 2 years. We just thought last year, listening to Sean. Sean said last year he was doing a great job.
That's what I
He's doing a
said.
good job.
That's what I said before you came on.
So
man.
are you telling me we shouldn't listen to Sean anymore?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh,
What
so
I
what you saying?
said, what I said at the beginning of the show when you were not here, is that I feel sorry for Bears fans because I honestly think you all got PTSD. I really do. I really do. Sean was singing the man's praises. So was our guy Ken.
Oh,
Remember? We had Ken. Ken Davis came on. He said, I think this guy knows what he's doing. And now, here we are a year later. People are calling for the Bears coaching staff to be gone and done with. It's just a very fickle kind of sports landscape in Chicago right now.
Jay, but
and the fact that none of the other teams are winning is probably aggravating the circumstances.
Jay, it's a tough landscape everywhere, right? 1 year, 2 years. I mean, if that was the case, if they were doing like they were doing now, Coach K wouldn't be a record. He wouldn't be that dude in college basketball because they would have got rid of him after 4 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would have been gone in a short period of time, but they had an administration and an organization who believed in them.
Yeah.
But what is Kevin Warren going to do? Is it new stadium, new coach? But I don't know. People saying they need to call Jim Harbaugh. I don't know. Would you call Jim Harbaugh?
No. Me personally, no, I would not. But that's just me. We shall see, said the blind man. We shall see, said the blind man. We shall see what happens, how this all transpires with the Bears. But I don't know, man. This is gonna be interesting tonight. Bears and Vikings, like I said, kicking off at 7:15 p.m. here in Minnesota. I don't know if they're gonna break their little streak. This is the time they're gonna do it. So we shall see, said the blind man. But hey, it is time for our first commercial break of the show because we got a guest coming on in a few minutes. And we're gonna test your skills on water polo, see what you know about water polo. We got Prince Asante Kofi. He's gonna be checking in with us, and he's gonna tell us what he's doing out there in Ghana. And Black Star Polo, water polo in Ghana, Lance.
Water polo.
In Ghana. Water polo in Ghana. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot.
Yeah.
I know Ashley Johnson, or I know that.
Yeah, we know our girl Ashley. That's
I know that. I know that. I know that's a bad goalie. I can tell you that.
You know that's right. You know that's right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then after the break, Prince Asante is going to join us. And he's going to talk about the initiatives that he is doing over in the West African nation of Ghana, of which I just returned from. And it's going to be really interesting. So everybody stand by. You're watching What's Up, Cuz.
That's why you jet lagged. That's why you jet lagged.
It is.
Jet lag.
Jet lag.
See, I don't.
You see me.
You hear me.
Respect me.
Respect. Due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others.
We don't have to agree, but I deserve to be heard. I stand my ground. Respect me.
We don't have to be friends, but I deserve your civility. I stand my ground. Respect me.
You don't have to understand my culture, but I deserve to be authentically myself. I stand my ground. Respect me.
I stand in defiance of your need to make me less in order for you to feel adequate.
I stand.
I stand aware that the America that you see and love today is a result of my free labor.
I stand.
I stand knowing that the contempt you have for me was not instigated by me, but perpetuated by the fear you have of me.
I stand.
I stand surviving your many attempts to emasculate me. Indeed, I thrive despite it.
I stand realizing that you take many things from me, but I will not allow you to take my respect.
I am a man.
I am a proud man.
I am a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputably, unapologetically a proud black man.
Respect me.
I have done more than enough to deserve it, and still you withhold it.
The bill is past due.
You owe me.
Respect me.
Respect me.
Respect me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, chilling in the living room along with my cousin, Nancy Irvin. He went to the studio. I'm in the living room because I am jet lagged and proud to say it. Proud to say it. You know why I'm jet lagged, Lance.
You gotta get some more toughness. I come in the house running and ripping. You gotta get some more toughness. I mean, you know, I've been practicing, workout every day. You just took a 10-hour flight? How many hours was it? 15?
Too damn long. It was too damn. I flew to Africa for the love of God.
How many hours did it take?
Well, you know, I had a stopover in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, both ways. 7-hour layover. By the way, y'all need to go to Amsterdam. Them people freaky. Them people do some crazy stuff over there. They smoke weed. They got sex workers everywhere. It was a very interesting place.
Amsterdam, sex workers.
Yeah, it's Amsterdam, a wild place. But it was a long flight. So, it took me like 17, 18 hours total because of the layovers and everything. But I absolutely loved it. And why was I in Ghana, you ask?
Yes. Let me hear.
I was over there doing some goodwill work. I was talking to some young Ghanaian water polo players. I took some equipment over there that was being donated to them. So we provided them with 11 brand new water polo balls from some coaches here in the Chicago area. So it was kind of a goodwill tour of myself, the IHSA, representing Chicago water polo coaches, and I also did a little reffing over there. So first time I've ever reffed a game outside. First time I've ever reffed a game outside at night under the light. So a very, very cool experience for me. So that's why I was over in Ghana, Lance.
See, you didn't tell your cousin. See, I look up and you said you was going to Ghana. Didn't say you was reffing. I would have sent a couple of polo balls over there. I could have splurged and gave you a couple of dollars, but you didn't want to tell me.
No, that's all right. You
okay,
keep doing it. You doing that.
That's okay. But I wait till our guest come on. I ask him about the weather and how was the other stuff.
Well, he's getting ready to come on right now.
I want to hear this.
Join us and tell us his story on how he started water polo in the country of Ghana is Prince Asante Kofi. My man Prince, what's up, Coach? How you doing?
Yo, how we doing, everybody? Good evening and greetings from California. Just came back from the motherland not too long ago as well.
Hey, Coach, I'm not doing too good. The reason why I'm not doing good, you come on with so much energy. Jason, y'all doing stuff in the motherland and nobody invited me. Nobody said, hey, Lance, you come over there. So I feel some type of way. So now I'm going to make my swing cash face.
Hey, well, let's fix this right now. You are consider yourself invited to the next time we make the move out there.
Thank you.
Hope that gets you up in some energy right now.
Hey, Coach, but water polo in Ghana, I never even really thought about that. I mean,
yeah, can you imagine that?
Yeah. So how did you start and what happened?
So it's a funny story, long story, and it's a story that I know is about to make more headwaves. Or headlines. People say, man, this sounds like that movie with the Jamaicans and the bobsled team. What was it called? Oh yeah, it was Cool Runnings. And I say my movie's about to be called Pool Runnings because we swimming by the pool. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, so the deal was let me see, get this camera right. My father's from West Africa, Ghana.
Okay.
My mother's from here in California, from LA. And I played water polo here in San Diego my whole life, played in high school, played in college, and then I got to play abroad. Every team that I was on, I was the, most handsome, the darkest one on every team that I was on. The two, they're one and the same. When you're dark, you're handsome. It's a hard life,
I subscribe to that theory too.
That's a fact. So, growing up with that, everywhere I went, it really wasn't until I left the country. I got to play in Brazil for 2 seasons in 2016 and 2017. That was the only time I got to see anybody of color on the same team as me. And I always had the connection back to Ghana, to West Africa. So I had this crazy idea whenever I would go back with my dad, say, hey, wait a second, maybe I could start up something out here, because it's all black out there, as Jason would tell you. From the top to the bottom, everywhere, indoors, outdoors, in the restaurants, 5 stars, people on the streets, people drinking in the plastic chairs and plastic tables, man, everywhere. So I said, we got a lot of strong people living by the sea, by the lakes, by the rivers, by the beaches. Let me take a chance and see if I can make this thing happen. And sure enough, I went back. This was 2018 with some equipment. I linked up with one of the only schools in the country with a pool at the time. And when I got there, I gave a little clinic, a talk, gave some lessons. And then from 2018, I've been slowly laying bricks and planting seeds to make it happen. And 2021 is when I said, let me build something here. And we made 7 teams. We got about 100 kids, and we got 7 all black water polo teams happening in the country of Ghana. The first ever to be done by yours truly.
So let me ask you this though. Then I'll let you take over, Jay. You know I get excited about this stuff. Was it
Cool.
hard finding the kids? Like, what did you do to find so many kids in a short period of time?
You know, it's kind of crazy because it wasn't too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, first off, it was working with the school
Okay.
and getting the school. You know, kids are always excited to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. The same way we love seeing Michael Jordan, same way we love seeing Muhammad Ali, same way we love seeing, you know, like Michael Jackson and all of them. These kids love seeing someone that looked like them doing something different. So when I jumped in the water, started to swimming, they said, wait a second, okay, I think I can do this too. And that's really what I used when I was working with the school kids. I jumped in the water and I got the students to jump in. Then we would go to the beach. And then people would say, wait a second, who's this dreadlocked Rasta man jumping in the water? Doesn't he know people going into the beach, they're going to drown because they're going to drown, they can't swim. And then I would come back from the water and they would look at me like I might as well have been walking on the water.
Uh-huh.
And they said, wait a second, man, you went out where we're not supposed to go and you came back? And I said, yeah, and you can do it too. Just, you know, stick with it. And I don't know, man, I think it's just the fact that a lot of Africans, I even think just black people, we love a challenge, an opportunity. So when they saw this thing that they've never really experienced before and they're welcome to do that, that's kind of what started a snowball and a momentum. Because then when I left, some of the kids would still try to go into the water and swim. And then those kids, their friends would watch them and their friends would want to join them. And then bigger and bigger it would get.
Nice.
And now, man, Jason will tell you, man, we got a whole tribe over there, you know, and not just one region.
Wow.
They do. It's really incredible, man. It's really incredible what they have done in such a short period of time. So, Kofi,
It's amazing.
You tell me your long-term goal on this, because I think that's what the amazing part is. It's not just that you started this, but you've got like very high expectations for this. Tell our audience what are your expectations or where you want to.
So, you know, as much of a statement as it was, being the most handsome one on all my teams, I was just one player, you know? So I said, wait a second, as much of an impact I make as an individual on a team, how crazy would it be to get a whole team of handsome individuals going forth to represent in these international competitions like, world championships or maybe an African Cup of Nations. But the one thing that I think everybody can really relate to is the Olympic Games, because water polo is an Olympic sport. So I'm thinking, wait a second, if we can get an all-black team or an all-handsome team, my bad, you get the two confused. If we can get an all-black team from the continents of Africa, even from West Africa, just imagine how much of an impact that's going to be to inspire so many of our people around the globe. Because, again, man, it took Michael Jordan making those incredible dunks, and when people see ourselves in great figures, it makes them want to join it. So there's been no Michael Jordan for water polo. Just Michael Phelps. So I think having this movement, having this team, having this program, and seeing an all-black water polo team to make it to the 2028 Olympic Games in LA, I think it'll be huge for so many people to see, and it'll open the door that, wait a second, you know, whether, depending on how well we do, whether you qualify or whether you miss the game-winning shot, now you have a little kid who's saying, okay, I can pick up where they left off, you know, and kind of create that ball. Because like I said, my grand vision is 2028 for this team and program, but the world doesn't stop after 2028, because then you got 2032, 2036, 2040, you know, and all the small goals these kids can reach in between them, like getting the chance to come to the States for a college water polo scholarship, or starting their own, you know, team in a different part, or becoming a swim teacher or a lifeguard or a coach, you know. There's a million. I mean, what I'm committed to with this program is we're either going to win or succeed. We're either going to get first place or a gold medal, meaning just these kids being a part of it is a victory in itself. Just the kids making it to practice is the win, and then we'll figure everything else out as we go.
Well said. But what's your age group for the kids? You start off a little like pee-wee age and go up to high school or college, or what's the age range?
Yeah, we started. Man, when I went to this school, it was a high school, but the way the pool is set up is it's kind of like a community pool.
Okay.
So anybody in the area that's brave enough and willing to try swimming are welcome.
Mhm.
So I'm sure I had kids that were, man, maybe like 8 or 9 up to probably 14, 15 that first day. And now whenever I go back, I just open it up to whoever's willing to join. So we've had kids as young as 2 years old jump in the water and splash around. And the oldest kid that we've got is probably, mid 20s.
Mhm.
But the core group that we've been working with is high school, maybe like 12 to 17. That's been the main group. But it's an all ages program. And, we've got some kids that are still a part of what we've done or what I did in 2018 with that first demonstration. And they're good now, man. They're fast. They're learning. They're watching videos. I send them videos every day. I send them techniques. I send them highlights. So they study those things and they're picking it up fast.
You
So
you know what? Other than Ashley Johnson, I don't want to cut you off, Jay.
Mhm.
You like the second? Well, I know my cousin reps water polo, and I never knew nothing about water polo or nothing. How did you get started? Like, how
sheesh,
did you get
man.
started? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
did somebody
yeah,
just throw you out there in the pool? Like, like what?
yeah. Get in there. Yeah. No, but I'll tell you, man, it was not my sport of choice. I didn't want to play it. I didn't enjoy it. I was also a chubby kid growing up, eating snacks and watching TV, man. And my parents just wanted me to be active. So they put me in all kinds of sports like baseball and soccer and even tried tennis, did golf, but I was not athletic. But I think what happened was my older brother and I, we grew up with asthma. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And one of the families in the town that we're from in Coronado, it's actually got some Olympians that came out of it. And they're friends with my family. So this Olympian's mother talked to my mom and said, "Hey, your kids have asthma. You should introduce them to swimming because we heard swimming is good for asthma." And my dad, being a doctor, was like, "Yeah, this checks out." So they threw my older brother in the pool. I think he wanted to do it. And then I had to follow suit because I was the younger one.
Mhm.
And man, it was no fun. I didn't enjoy it. I would sit in the car. I wouldn't want to get out and go into swimming. Everybody else was so much better than I was. And since I was a bigger kid, they made me train with the older high school kids when I was in middle school, and I just couldn't do it, man. And it was the fact that I was so stubborn and being angry that I would always come in last in all the relays and the swim sets and the trainings and the gym workouts. I was like, no, I can't have this anymore. And I committed to it out of spite, honestly. Just being so stubborn is like, I'm not going to be in the last place anymore, man. I'm going to figure it out. And then I got good and just stuck with it. But no, man, I was trying to play football. Big surprise.
And
Big
so,
surprise.
and so, Prince, let me ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
The support
Yeah.
that
Yes.
you're getting in Ghana. Me just coming from there and speaking with your staff. Shout out to your assistant coach,
Yeah.
for taking care
Yeah.
of me, and Dotson, who was very helpful uh,
Boom.
at the
The
pool.
guys.
Shout out to your guys, that crew that you have. Um, we talked a little bit about this. This whole thing is new for Ghana. For your entire country, they're like, what are we doing? So, I mean, I was over there when I was talking to people, and they're like, what brings you to Ghana? I was like, well, I came, it's my ancestral home. I want to see that, but I'm also here because I brought some donated items to the water polo program you all have in Ghana. And they looked at me like,
Crazy.
what the hell is this Black American talking about? We don't have no water polo team. I was like, no, really, like you really do. So I hit them up on it,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh, that sounds really interesting. And I met with two expats from America who live over there, and they have a son, and they wanted to get him involved in swimming. So I've now connected them with Prince Kofi. So,
Hey.
I think there's a general excitement over there. But talk to me a little bit about what type of assistance you all need from the people of Ghana, meaning your citizenry, and how the Ghanaian government, especially the Ministry of Sports and Youth Sports, how they can help what you all are trying to do as well.
You know what? I think the simplest way to answer that question is we need to reduce how shocked and confused people are about water polo, because that all comes from the fact that everybody only knows football in Ghana. Forget about everything else. The sport that everybody knows is soccer. We love soccer, 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 soccer. Meanwhile, a lot of people are saying, you know what, man, like there are other sports that exist. Let's try something else. And it's not like we're unable to participate in other sports. It's just that a lot of people are, again, unaware of this opportunity. So, I mean, from what I've been, and then I think we have that same, trial here in the States. People love to watch American football and basketball because, one, they're super fun to watch, but people just don't know about water polo. So the biggest thing that I've been pushing for is, first off, this all was able to be supported through fundraising on a GoFundMe for my community. Before I got into this full time, I was, the day job, a substitute teacher, but the interesting job is I would do music, I do hip hop, I rap. So I would do these benefit shows, and then I would give private lessons, and I would coach and teach. And all those things is how I was able to get my community involved, to donate money and see this cool thing going on. And then when I get to Ghana, the same message everybody is saying is like, yo, you have to get the government involved, because they have the power to really propel this thing and really make, Ghana like a Hungary or a Croatia or a Serbia for water polo. And it's just about letting people know that we have these aquatic organizations going on, letting these banks and because there's some wealthy people out there in the country. I mean, we got so many of these award-winning Afrobeat artists that are chilling in the country, just comfortable. And all those people, they can really benefit from it, because now you've got a sport that's helping the kids on the streets. And water polo is the upper class game. At the end of the day, it's a wealthy sport. Now we're giving these kids from the street this upper class experience of going to the pool. So that's the thing. These government officials, the diplomats, the celebrities, the business owners, the banks, corporations, they need to tap into that and say, wait a second, this is something helping the youth, because everybody knows about the tourist attractions. Everybody knows about what to do in Ghana for business and enjoyment, but not so much to grow, the grassroots, to help the kids. There's a lot of poverty out there. So we're just tapping into sport as that vehicle to give them new opportunity and, take them out the streets into a school, turn them into something great. So, man, it's an uphill battle for sure. The fundraising is nonstop. It's now getting backed by the charity that I've made out of this called Black Star Polo. So I'll be raising money, fundraising, giving talks. I did a benefit show. I got these fresh beanies here. Got to plug one time. And, it's just letting them know that, hey, we can actually afford to take a chance on something other than football. And, it's going pretty well. BBC says it's doing pretty good too.
So are you doing men's and women? Or just
Yeah.
men?
We've got boys and girls. So that's the plan, is just to hit this thing from all angles. It's funny because boys are boys, of course. They want to play, they're more rough. And the girls are really not too shy. They also want to jump in and play with the boys as well. I think a lot of it is just, again, letting people know, because still, with all of our promotion and exposure, people just genuinely, they just don't know. And we got a really big swim organization out there in Ghana too, that we've been just trying to get the bridge to be built between the two of us, because once we got a solid swim program or a swimming league and a solid water polo league, that's the bread and butter to championship, to a championship path.
So have you faced many obstacles with the organization, with you guys trying to basically, one being a feeder school to help another one out? Is there obstacles?
Yeah.
Obstacle.
There's about 1 million of them, I can tell you. How much time do we got tonight? Yeah, I don't know, man. I think one of the biggest obstacles is, convincing people. I think the general obstacle just in Ghana, and even just on a bigger scale, is, people just afraid of water.
Yeah.
People just don't want to swim. And again, it's not that we can't swim. It's just that we don't,
Yeah.
So just kind of convincing people that, no, this is something that when you do overcome that fear, you can actually benefit from it. You yourself can be someone to save a life. And then a lot of it too is just the resources, because, pool culture is just very expensive, and not a lot of schools have pools out there. and the pools that we do have in the community, unless they're owned by the government, they don't get taken care of pretty well at all. But luckily we're surrounded by water. So if the pool is closed, I said, kids, we're jumping in the pool, we're jumping in the river, we're jumping in the lake, we're going to the beach.
Yes.
Man, I get them swimming out there in natural water because it's all character building.
Yes. And so when he told me that, Lance, when I found that out, I was like, what do you mean y'all go in the river? They're like, yeah, we just practice in the river. Or, they got a huge ocean. You got the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
They practice in the ocean, Lance.
So time out.
It's facts. I'm telling you, bro. By any means necessary.
Now, I know sports, right? Water polo, you have 2 goals. If I'm not
correct. You're correct.
How the hell do you get the goals to stay? Who holds the goals? Like, what I'm sitting there like, go to the river and the ocean? Dang.
So yeah, back to these challenges, man. We tap in with the fishermen out there because you see the boats. So we'll get 2 of the boats to be on each side of a course. And we tie a rope to these poles, and then we get what's it called? We'll find a stone, just 2 big stones. Tie a rope to that thing, let it sink. Bam! Water polo course, DIY.
But you know what though? That's the great thing about being creative, and the great thing about obstacles, because obstacles force you to become creative. It's like invent your own drills and stuff. That's why I'm sitting here like. No, they gotta be kidding me. But
yeah, it's crazy.
The ingenuity and the creativity. Shout out, because the one thing I want to say that you will have a testimony. The kids will have a testimony.
Yes,
you have to go through something to get to something. And
there you go.
A good story. Like I'm gonna send you a couple of dollars myself.
My man.
You will have it by tomorrow. I guarantee it.
Yo, bless, man. Bless. Thank you.
I'm gonna send you something.
Bang.
I know how I'm a okay swimmer, but I'm taking lessons to get better. My daughter learned when she was 2, she could swim. And I
sure.
Swimming is a great sport because, like you said, it helps your breathing. It builds your muscle, it helps your joints and stuff like that. So I'm just I'm just proud of y'all too, because I'm sitting here like Jason, like we having what on the show today? And that's why the show was created, to get guests that's doing other things that people like, that's a great idea. Because I tell you what, if you would have been in Chicago or wherever I was living and there was a water polo team, I would have told my daughter to play. No, you gonna play. It's a great sport. I promise you I would have.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've learned through all these challenges and obstacles that it really comes down to resources and opportunity. When you give out the resources, the opportunities are coming, and the opportunity needs to have the resource, So even same here in the States. I mean, we got a long list of reasons why we were never, why we are not involved in aquatics and why it's taken us so long to get into it, because they've been keeping us out of the pool for a while. And just, undoing all that damage, or even just looking at that, the reason why we couldn't play the sport is because, we were kicked out for, so you got segregation, you got picket lines. There's even some stories about them throwing bleach in the water to keep the pool lights, So that in itself is like, all right, since it's so difficult for us to get in, we're going to make sure you stay as far away from pools and water sports because of the trauma. But now you got this guy who's, I think it's funny, I'm a rapper. Rappers buy out the bar, I'm buying out the pool. And letting all these little black kids run around, jump in and splash and learn the sport. Hey, man, about to take over like Venus and Serena. You better watch out.
That's what I told him.
You gotta start somewhere.
That's what I told him, lad. I said, see, now they already mad. Tiger dominated golf.
Boom.
Then we had Serena dominating women's tennis.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
We got Simone Biles dominating gymnastics. We got a couple brothers playing hockey.
Yeah, they're trembling right now. They're crossing off all the sports.
Hey,
At least we got hockey.
We like water polo and hockey. Check. Bro, let me ask you this on a different note. You keep talking about rapping.
Yes, sir.
Who you take, Jay-Z or Nas?
Ah, man, that's a tough one. My knee-jerk reaction, Nas.
You have lost your damn mind. You got me
My
turned
knee
off.
jerk, if it's my knee jerk reaction for music, Nas.
Over
But
Jay-Z, the greatest?
of course, you got the greatest. He got a museum. He's a billionaire. You got Beyonce, Jay-Z, he's a mogul. But who am I going to listen to on a road trip? Nas.
He Prince lost me on that, Jay. Coach, you had just lost. See, we was rolling. I was feeling you until you answered that.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
You know what? I asked you Jay-Z. I said Jay-Z. I didn't ask you somebody like Polo G. I said Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But
My God.
I'm not gonna hold that against you. I would ask you another question, but I'm skeptical to ask you about your rapping opinion now. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm skeptical.
We can talk, man. We can talk.
Lauryn Hill and Queen Latifah.
Lauryn Hill. Stop.
Okay. All right. They got you back on. Okay.
Thank you, bro. Come on. You see?
Okay.
Hey, might be down, but never out. We might be down, but never out.
So, Coach, you got something big coming up tomorrow over there in Ghana, and something even bigger coming up in a couple of weeks. We got our fingers crossed, and we're praying for you in Brazil.
Yeah.
Tell our audience.
Absolutely.
Tell our audience why tomorrow is so big for you, and why in a couple of weeks in December it will be huge for the kids in this program and for all of Ghana.
So I'm gonna answer this one with another question you asked earlier in regards to the challenges. This thing was moving real fast. We got an invitation to go to basically to compete internationally. Right. First off, we had one to go to Italy in June. And remember when I said these kids, a lot of them, they're real poor. They come from the streets. They come from the ghetto, the serious ghetto. So I remember letting the kids know for the first time in January, hey, we got this invitation. We got to get everyone's information so we can get your passports. Hey, you, what year were you born in? And the kid says, Coach, I was born on Wednesday. I said, no, what year were you born in? What year? I was born on Wednesday, Coach. I don't know. So we say, oh, God. So we had to start this journey going into the villages to get their parents so we could find out the best guess to give them a birth year so we could take that to get their birth certificates, then get their passports, then me going back and fundraise. Then we got them appointments at the embassy so they can get their visas. And then on the day we're about to take off to Italy to be the first all-black sub-Saharan team from the continent to go to this water polo tournament in Italy, the embassy denied all their visas because they said the kids are too poor. We don't really believe there's a water polo tournament happening. We don't believe you guys are going to come back, and we just don't buy it. So that was a bummer. After that, we got another invitation from the same organization for a tournament coming through to Brazil. So the same organization has got another youth competition. It's like a mini Olympic Games. It's actually our practice run. We got kids from all over the country, all over the world. They're coming together to play this game. We got the invitation after the Italy denial. And now we're moving in with experience, whereas before we're just trying to figure things out. So tomorrow, actually probably in about 12 hours, if we're being honest, the same kids that were denied earlier this year are making their second trip to another embassy, the Brazilian embassy, to get their visas so they can travel to Brazil next week, I think, for a tournament in the following week. That's going to be, again, the redeeming story of the year, because there's a lot of diplomatic reasons why they didn't let us go to Italy, but I think we all know the real reason why they didn't want us to go to Italy. And now we've got this gracious invitation from Brazil, the ministries, they call it Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They heard the story. They're backing us into the embassy. We've got the president of our swim federation going in with them tomorrow morning to kind of guide them through. And I think being, like basically a very African continent, South America and Brazil are going to be very welcoming to letting these kids have this opportunity. So everything's been set. We shifted the flights that we bought from Venice to go to Brazil now. Kids are going to the embassy to get their visas. The airlines is saying we've got to pay a pretty expensive, what is it called? The surcharge fee to make it happen. That's why I've been fundraising. And yeah, tomorrow's another big day for the kids. So it's a big deal because that day was worse than like a natural disaster hit the kids in Ghana. It was like, oh man, they've been training for 6 months, different trips, prepping them for the interviews, getting excited. The parents came through. Everyone's standing outside outside the embassy for the visa, and we got denied, man, one by one. Kids were crying, kids were bummed. Then I had to explain to them in a way that they could understand as kids why the system didn't favor them. It was tough, man. And they're 12, 11, 10-year-old kids. So it's a bummer that it happened, but me as a coach, the positive takeaway is that they learned a very valuable lesson about the way the world works for us at a very young age. So the kids they grew up to be, or the adults these kids grew up to be, is going to be very powerful. And that's why we keep pushing for these opportunities. So in a few hours, in 12 hours, 10 hours, the famous water polo boys, Black Star Polo boys from Ghana are going to go into an embassy, the Brazilian embassy, for another chance to get their visas and their new passports that we got from fundraising so they can go and, dominate. And that's all she wrote.
I love it, man. Is that not a beautiful story, Lance?
Man, I'm sitting there pulling out my credit card now. That's why I'm playing around with my phone. You have it in the future.
It's just unbelievable, man. And me having the opportunity to actually meet the kids and talk to them, and to have their full attention as I talk to them about water polo.
Let me see. I think I lost you there for a second. Microphone check.
And how I became a water polo referee. We can hear you. We can hear you, Prince. Even if you can't, we can hear you. So you're good. So
okay.
Yeah. But it's an amazing story, Lance, and I'm happy to play just my part in it. But I got to give shout to Coach Jimmy here in Chicago. Man, shout out to Coach Jimmy for donating as much equipment as he did. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Coach Seth at Carthage College for transporting the stuff to up here to where I am so I could go get it and take it over to Ghana. I mean, it's been incredible what we have been able to do. And I am committed to this. And again, shout out to our girl, Ashley Johnson of USA.
Big shout out.
Water polo, our talented goaltender who will be going for her third gold medal in Paris. Because, Ashley connected me with you a couple years ago in terms of your name. She's like, you need to talk to him. Like, he's about to do something. You really need to reach out to him. And so when the opportunity came up for me to go to Ghana this year, I was like, oh, I know who I got to hit up and just let them know I'm coming. And, it's all worked out. And for me, Coach, it's probably right that you all's first voyage in international competition is in Brazil and not Italy. Because, one of the things I learned on my trip there and when I majored in African American studies in Chicago State is that most of our ancestors who were enslaved didn't make it all the way to the United States. 47% were dropped off in Brazil. 47% were dropped off in Brazil. Then you had others who were in the Caribbean islands like Jamaica and some of those places. And then you have the ones that made it here to the United States. And we come from that particular tree. So to me, it's kind of poetic justice that you'll be going to Brazil for your very first trip. And I just want to thank you, Prince, for everything that you're doing. I want to thank you for being an incredible host in absentia when I was there last week. And your guys, your people who you connected me with all over the country. And I know this thing is going to be huge. And I'm so happy and proud that Lance and I were able to get you on the show to talk to the audience here in Chicago. And we got a huge Ghanaian community here in Chicago too. And, when they see this interview and when I write my story that I'm publishing tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that they get it and see it so that you can build up a network here in the Chicago area of Ghanaian Americans who are going to also be supporting you. Because I think the key is what I've learned, Coach, especially with our people, they got to see it first.
Facts.
They got to see it. You know, they may not be there with all the hard work that you're doing and you wearing 20 different hats, but if they see them kids in that pool, it's going to be game on. It's going to be game on here in the United States with Black Americans uniting behind them and supporting them. So I just want to thank you again, Coach, for coming on tonight's show and telling us about your story and the work that you're doing out there in Ghana. And we're going to be praying for you. I'm sure you and I will be chatting tomorrow. You're going to be giving me updates on what happened at the embassy. And I can't wait, man. But thank you so much for taking the time.
Man, appreciate it. I just sent you something. I went to Black Star Polo, like you said. I just sent you something. So
My man, bless.
Man, that's the least I could do. I love kids. And I love hearing your story. So, you know,
man, appreciate it. And that's the biggest thing too, just getting people to see it, you know, just you see the post, you share it, you know, you share the links. I mean, we've been featured on BBC, NBC, ABC, the Olympics.com, put this thing up. And I think the reason why it's getting so much attention is because people are catching on that, wait a second, this is the sport you don't see any of us in.
Right.
And why is it still like this? You know, you look up, you watch the games next year. Watch, I promise you, there's probably going to be about 5 in total.
Yep.
Out of every team, the best of the world, five people of color in the whole conference, man. So I think it's just important that people keep seeing it. We keep letting people know about it, seeing the places they can support, you know, coming to different shows, coming to different events, and of course, one day coming to Ghana. But the cool thing I do is I'll be doing it here in San Diego too, in the States, just working with different pools and different kids in different areas and saying, look,
good to know.
Hey, just come and try it. Just jump in the pool and, you know, throw the ball and see. I don't know if you like it. Cool. If not, you did something new today. So it's happening, man.
I appreciate you. I was happy to hear it.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck. And I'll be in contact with you soon. Okay.
No doubt, my man. Thank you so much. Hey, man, we got more, I'm sure we got episode 2 when the hip hop conversation kicks off.
For sure. Appreciate you.
Sure, appreciate it. Thanks, Coach Prince.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. That is it for tonight's show. And as always, we are out. We end with Lift Every Voice and Sing. We will see you next week with another episode of What's Up to Us. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise. High as the listening skies, let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. We will march on till victory. We will march on till victory. Let us march on till victory.